Hello everyone. In this lecture we will study about the structures. Now firstly, what is structure? A structure is a collection of fields of different data types. Now SE11 is the transaction code for data dictionary. Now we have the third radio button data type from which or from where we can create the structures. In SAP we have total two types of structures. Our first type of structure is append structure. Our second type of structure is include structure. Now what is this append structure and what is this include structure? Now firstly, include is a type of structure that is a reusable structure. Means you can create this structure once and you can use it at several places. Now instead of that, append is a type of structure which is not a reusable component, which is not a reusable structure. It is always table specific or structure specific. Means if you are creating it once, you cannot use it at several places. Now what is the second difference? Append. Append always appends at the last of the table or last of the structure. But instead of that, we can include it at any place. Include is a type of structure. We can include it at any place. Now, the third difference. The third difference is that include is applicable only for customer specific table. Now, what are customer specific tables? Those whose first name starts with Z or Y are called as customer specific table. Now what is append? Append is applicable in case of SAP tables as well as customer specific tables. Now we have total three differences between append structure and include structure. Firstly, include is a reusable structure. Append it's not a reusable structure. What is the second difference? Includes it can be done at any place, but appends always appends at the last of the table or last of the structure. In case of append, in case of include is a type of structure which is applicable only for the customer specific tables. But instead of append is possible for SAP tables as well as customer specific table. Now what we will do, we already have the table, person table, ZTPER. In this we have two fields, person ID and person name. Now what we will do, we will create one structure and we will append and we will include the structure into this table. Suppose we are creating a structure for person. As we are creating a customer specific object, so its first name always starts with Z or Y. Suppose my name of the structure is Z struct underscore PER. Now click on this create button. Now go for the second radio button, that is structure. So this is a include structure. This is the way by which we can create a include structure. Now suppose my first component name is person designation. Now suppose my second component name is person salary. Suppose I have an include structure. In this I have two components. First one is person designation, second one is person salary. Now I am saving this structure. I am saving it as a local object. Now my message is showing the structure is saved. Now I am checking for the syntax of the structure. Now it is syntactically correct. Now I am activating the structure. Now it is showing me the message, the object is activated. Now I have created one structure and I will include this structure in our table, that is ZTPER, which is a person table. Now I am displaying the table. I will go for the change mode of the table. I will put the cursor here, then I will go to edit button, then I have include, then there is a button insert. Here I have to pass the name of the include structure. Now the structure is included. Now I am saving this table. It is showing me the table is saved. Now I am checking for the syntax of the table. Now I am activating the table. It is showing me the message object is activated. Now if I back the table and if I want to display the table, now in the table we have total 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now we have 4 number of columns are there in the table. So this is a example of our include structure. We have created the include structure and we have inserted it into this table. So now if you have a requirement, if you have a requirement in that, suppose if you have 10 or 15 tables, and in all those 10 or 15 tables you have to include these 2 fields. So rather than manually doing the process, create one include structure and include that structure in all those 10 or 15 tables. Now this is the first point for the include structure. Now what is the second point for the include structure? We can include the include structure at any place in the table. Suppose in this example we have include this structure at the after the person name. Okay, suppose we want to include this structure after the person ID. We can do this also. Suppose now I am deleting this include structure. I will include it again after the person ID. So I will put the cursor here. So I will again go for edit, include, insert. This is the name of the include structure. I am deleting this row, blank row. Now I am saving the table. Now I am activating the table. It is showing me the message object is activated. If I am back the table and I want to display the table, then see, firstly we have person ID, then we have person designation, then we have person salary, then we have person name. So this is the second point for the include structure. So we have covered the first point. Include is a reusable structure. We have created the include structure and we have include this include structure into this table ZTPER. Now it's a reusable component. We have also covered the second difference. Firstly we have inserted it after the P name. Now we have inserted after the person ID. Now what is the third difference? It is only applicable for customer specific tables. We have included this structure into this customer specific table, that is ZTPER. This point is clear. Now along with this we are saying that it is not possible, including this is a structure which is not possible for SAP tables. So now we will check for SAP tables. So I am opening SC11 session in some another window. Now we will go for some SAP specific tables. This is SAP specific tables because its first name start with B. So if here I am checking edit, include, this insert button is disabled. Now we have covered with the third point also. Include is only possible in case of customer specific tables. Now we will go for our second type of structure, that is our append structure. As we have already said that include is a reusable structure, but append is not a reusable structure. So append is always table specific or it is structure specific. Suppose we are again going for our table, that is ZTPER. So in this we will create one append structure. So go to the change mode of the table. Here we have a button for the append structure. Now we will go for append structure, Z struct underscore append. Suppose this is my name of the append structure. Now here I have to provide the description of the append structure. Append structure for Purna. Suppose I am taking a component person location, ZTPLOC, ZTPLOC. So we have created one append structure. In this we have a component person location. Now I am saving this object. Now I am checking for the syntax of the object. Now I am activating this structure. It is showing me that structure is activated. Okay, now we will back to the table. Now we will back it again. Now whenever I am displaying the table, now it has 6 components: person ID, person designation, person salary, person name, person location. This person designation, person salary are the part of include structure, and this person location is the part of append structure. Now this is the first that we have said that append is not a reusable structure. It means you have append this structure into this table ZTPER. Now you cannot append this structure, or you cannot reuse this structure. So we will go for our second table and we will use the same structure name there. Then we will check it's a reusable component or not. So we will go for another table ZTPER_add. So we will display this table. We will go for the change mode of the table and we will go for append structure. If here I am passing the name of the structure, it is showing me what? It is already exist. Choose a different name. So append is not a reusable structure. You have created one append structure for already the table ZTPER. So you cannot append it into that another table, that is ZTPER_add. Now we will go for our second point. Now what is second point said that append is a type of structure which always appends at the last of the table. So when we see the change mode of the table, see after append all things are disabled. You cannot insert any field after this append. So this is the second step. Whenever you append something into our table, after that you cannot append any more columns to that table. So append always appends at the last of the structure or last of the table. Now we have the third point. Append is possible for customer specific table as well as for SAP table. We have already seen that we have append the structure into customer specific table. Now we will check for SAP table. So we will go for transaction code SC11 and we will again display the SAP table VBAK, and here see append structure is enabled. So append is possible for both SAP tables as well as customer specific tables. Now I am again repeating the concept. A structure is a collection of fields or collection of columns of different data types. In SAP we have two types of structures: include structure, append structure. What is include structure? It's a reusable structure. Once you create, you can use it at several places. We have already seen we have created one include structure with the help of SC11 transaction code, and we have used it in the table ZTPER. Now what is append structure? Append is not a reusable structure. We have created the append structure for table ZTPER and we cannot use it in the another table. Now second point, include can be done at any place inside the table or inside the structure. We have seen we have include the structure after the person ID and we have include the structure after the person name also. Now append is a type of structure which always appends at the last. We have seen after the append the rest of the portion of the table is disabled. So you cannot insert anything after the append. Now we have the third difference. Include is only possible for customer specific table. As we have already seen, we have include one append structure into customer specific table, but in case of SAP table we have seen that include is disabled. Or now append is possible for both customer specific table as well as for SAP table. We have seen that we have append structure and into customer specific table, and we have seen for the SAP table that append structure is enabled in case of SAP specific table. This is all about the structure. Thank you everyone.